It's Toma time! What is going on, guys? Toma Tales here, and I'm bringing you another video today. Now, for today's video, a lot of my new subscribers are going to be more up to date with what's going on and what happened, because it is in regards to Officer Balloon. I'm aware that I posted about a 3-minute video of the interaction I had with this officer, but there's so much you guys do not know that plays a big factor in what really happened during this incident. The before the recording and even after the recording, more happened. So that's what I'm going to be telling you guys right now, just everything that you need to know to get a better understanding of, you know, the incident at hand. So, firstly, what the police were looking for is Blake, my roommate. I don't talk to him often, I don't really know him. But the first time I was made aware of this situation was a few days before the recording. So about 5 days ago, the recording, the interaction I had with Officer Balloonhead was 3 days ago. So about 5 days ago, 2-3 days before the incident, I get back home at about 1 a.m. I had just done laundry at a friend's house. I get back and I see like 4 police cars on the other side of the street. I'm like, what's going on here? And next thing you know, I get into the home and there's like 5 cops standing in my hallway. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And they're like, hey, do you know Blake? Where's Blake? Can you tell us where Blake is? I'm like, no, I don't really know Blake like that. I don't know where he is. I haven't seen him in a while. And they're like just all standing in the hallway. Okay, well, okay, thanks. And I just see them, they're literally standing right outside my door because I'm right next to Blake's room. And I'm like, I'm even offering them water. I'm like, hey, you guys want some water? You know, while you're just waiting? Because they told me they're going to be waiting here for a while outside of his room and right in the hallway. They say no to the water, but at least I'm being friendly. Like, I might not like the police that much, but, you know, I'm just still being friendly. And so I just go in my room, and that's basically it. I'm in my room. They stay there for like another hour just waiting outside of his room for Blake. And then they end up leaving. Now, after this interaction, I go to Tampa. I live in St. Augustine now, which is where it happened. But I go to Tampa to see family for the holidays, and I'm gone for 3 days. Now, during these 3 days gone, obviously I'm not thinking about the incident. I'm not thinking about Blake or the police or anything. Life is normal. And so I get back after 3 days, and I spend the whole day just relaxing because it was a long drive. And so I'm just relaxing all day, and at about nighttime, about 8 o'clock I'd say, I'm just sitting on my bed, and I hear rustling outside of my window. And the first one who picks up on it is my cat. For you that don't know, that's my cat. That was in the video. It's not Blake's cat. My cat looks outside the window and I hear rustling. I'm like, that's weird, because now my window's open but the screen is in front of it. So, because I always like fresh air, but whatever. So I hear rustling and I just kind of like, you know, I take a minute to pause from the video I'm watching on my laptop. And, you know, I don't see anything. I don't really hear anything else. But then I continuously hear more rustling, like outside my window, which is really weird because no one's ever out there. And after about 5 minutes of just feeling like kind of weird, like rustling, like it's not the other side of the yard, it's in my yard, I can hear it. So I end up peeking out the window, and what I see is just a black figure standing in the darkness. At this point, I'm kind of like freaked out a little. I'm like, I basically just say, yo, who is that? Who are you? And from my memory, first he says, no, first I say, Blake, is that you? Because the only one I know that would be out right there where my window is maybe Blake. Because the one, my other roommate, he's never back there, and the female, she's never back there. The only one that would be back there is Blake. So I say, Blake, is that you? And he says, yeah. The police officer says, yeah, Sergeant Balloon. He says, yeah. So then I'm like analyzing him more, and he's way fatter than Blake. Blake's a kind of skinny 22-year-old guy, like kind of built like me a little bit. And so I'm like looking at him like, this guy's not Blake. What is going on here? Why is this person lying to me? So I'm like, who are you? You're not Blake. And he says, I'm Blake's friend. Do you know where Blake is? I'm like, you're Blake's friend? And I'm just like basically questioning, like, who is this weird guy standing outside my window, creeping around, lying to me who he is. And so I'm like, I'm getting defensive at this point. I'm like, yo, you're not Blake, you're not Blake's friend, I don't know who you are, I don't know where Blake is, I don't know him like that. And at this point, I close my window, And next thing I think of is I need to go lock the front door, because we don't keep the front door locked. We keep the front door unlocked. So first thing I think of is this creepy individual might be trying to break in, steal something. Maybe it is involving Blake and they're gonna try and do something. I don't know what's going on. So I run to the door, and as I'm running to the door, I hear a loud banging on the door. So I'm like, okay, shit, they're at the door now. So I lock the door real quick, and I look outside the window. And at this point is the first time I realized it is the police. I had no idea who it was. I told you I've been gone for 3 days. Next thing I come home and there's just like someone wrestling in my yard. I didn't know it was the police. They didn't tell me it was the police. They said they were Blake's friend and they were Blake. They're, you know, confusing everything. And so I see it's the police, and I'm like, and we start talking to each other, and they tell me, can you let us in? We want to talk to Blake. We want to see Blake. Let us in, let us in. I'm like, no, you're not coming in. I don't want you to come in. This and that. And basically after I tell them no, I go back to my room. And as I'm going back to my room, I'm just like thinking like, what the fuck? Like, that's the police, but this guy was being super weird. He acted like he was a super sketchy guy, like some homeless random crackhead. I don't know. But it was not appropriate, and it definitely, I needed to say something. So after, you know, going back to my room, I go back out to the front door, and I open the door, because now I feel more safe. Like, it's the police, they should be safe, whatever. But I open the door, and there's like 3 officers or 2 officers standing out there. And I'm like, hey, what you guys just did was not cool at all. I don't want you guys on my property where my yard is, peeking through my window, and the officer that was standing there lied to me, saying he was Blake's friend. He did not identify himself as the police, and do not do that again. You guys need to be more clean with how you're acting right now. And I closed the door. Bold of me to say that, whatever, but I was really not happy in the moment, and, you know, I felt really violated in a sense. So then I go back to my room, and I'm just sitting there for like 30-40 seconds, and I'm like looking out the window to see if the guy's still there, and I see Officer Balloon again. And this time he's more aggressive. He walks up to my window and he says, hey, you, I need to talk to you right now. I'm like, okay, what do you want to talk about? And at this point, I'm not recording yet, but I ask him what he wants to talk about. And he gets close to the window. Now he's like standing in front of me, and he's like, we need to know where Blake is. We need to know if Blake's in here. You need to let us in. This and that. Can we come inside? And I'm like, no. And what he says then was probably the most threatening thing he has said that I didn't get on camera. He says, if you don't let us in, we're going to come back with SWAT, with a search warrant, and we're going to bust in everyone's door instead of just Blake's, and we're going to make your guys' lives a living hell. That's what he said to me after I said, I'm not going to let you in. He said that instead of just making it a Blake thing, he's going to make it the whole house's thing and bust through each and every one of our doors and make our lives living hell. Now, at this point, this guy is just being completely hostile, completely out of the code of conduct of what the police should do. And so then I start recording. And you guys saw the recording. More hostility, more harassment.
Okay, well, here's the deal. I'm standing right here.
Okay.
Okay. I can stay here all night.
Okay.
I really don't care.
More, you know, improper conduct. Well, I'm not going to help you with that.
Okay, so you and me are going to get real acquainted real quick. I'm going to be here all night.
You know, just trying to persuade me to come in. How many times do I have to tell him no, 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 no? Yeah, I mean, you do what you got to do. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not going to help you either.
Okay.
All right, man.
Super cool. Well, just so you're aware, if he's here and you're lying to me, you're going to jail too.
All right.
You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then you and me will get real well acquainted.
And I just kept telling him, no, you can't come in. And the more I did it, the more mad he got. And he thought his little here's the deal thing could, you know, persuade me to think there's already a deal and I just need to let him in. But, you know, obviously it didn't work. I'm not going to fall for that. I'm not going to let him in. And so we had that whole thing where we had the recording of us talking. And yeah, at the end he just threatens me again, saying if I don't let him in, he said if I don't let him in, he's going to be here all night standing right in front of my window like a freaking creep. And I tell him, okay, can't do nothing about it, but I'm not going to help you. And after that, he walks away just as you see in the recording. But now what you don't know about after the recording is, so after the recording, I'm just like, I'm back in my bed just relaxing. And about 5 minutes later, my female roommate comes back home. And now she's the one that let them in the first time, days prior when I said they were standing in the hallway waiting for Blake. So she comes home and I'm like, oh my God, is she gonna let them in? And she did. So I'm just sitting on my bed. Next thing I hear is a door opening. I hear like 4 or 5 people, like heavy boots, walking. To get to Blake's room, you have to get, you know, walk through my room, walk past my room. So I hear, and so first thing I hear is just boots and whistling. Like, I can't whistle, but it's just antagonizing whistling as you know, it was only one officer doing the whistling. I know it was Officer Balloon. So Officer Balloon is slowly walking past my door, whistling, antagonizing me. And I'm just thinking, if you guys really care about catching Blake that badly, why are you guys just casually walking past whistling? Shouldn't you be getting to Blake's room, making sure you find him if he's in there? So it's clear that to me, in Officer Balloon Head's head, he's just trying to antagonize me. And so he's like whistling. I'm just like, hopefully they don't, you know, walk in my room. My door's closed, so they better not knock nothing. They don't. And so they walk to Blake's room. I don't know what happened. Blake's not there. You know, I wasn't lying. And then as they leave, I just hear this. I hear them walking, and Officer Balloon says, he's like, "Have a great night, Toma." And then he continues to walk, and I'm like, how did this guy get my name? Because when before the recording, he asked what my name was. Like, "Hey, you, what's your name?" I'm like, "I'm not gonna tell you my name." So then I was like, so he walks by and he's like, "Have a good night, Toma." Like antagonizing me again as he walks by. And I'm like, how the fuck did this guy get my name? I don't want this guy to know me. I don't want him to know my name. And so I'm a little like, it's just like, why did my roommate let her in? How like stupid. And then they leave. And since then, I talked to my roommate. I told her what happened, and she told me that she's not going to cooperate with them anymore because they're acting like assholes. And since then, they have not been back. But I did just hours ago go to the police station and file an incident report because not only did he threaten me, he trespassed, he lied, he never identify himself as police. Like, just imagine you're just laying in your bed at like 9 p.m. and you hear rustling outside your window, and then you see a dark figure just staring at you, like lying to you about who he is. Yeah, it wasn't fun, but I'm happy that I was able to record it to, you know, spread awareness, because the only way we can hold police officers and people like that, you know, hold them accountable is through recording it, spreading it, and then they'll think twice when they get bombarded with hate or messages saying you can't act like that. I did go to the police station, as I told you. I filed a complaint, and I've done this once before, and I ended up having a really heated argument on the phone with a deputy. And so that's gonna be probably part 3. I know they're gonna call me or come back and talk to me. So stay tuned for that, but for now, that's all I have. Toma Tales, toodaloo.